Welcome to the Raw Dogs Podcast, where we teach you how to level up in every single area of manhood that you could possibly think of.
We're talking dating, finances, fitness, fighting, everything you need to become a top 1% man. I'm TJ.
And I'm Chris. Let's get into it.
Most people think communication is just about talking, but it's actually much more than that. It's your most powerful weapon in life.
And here's the shocking truth about that too, is if you don't sell yourself, you're always going to be sold short. So essentially, you can either master the art of talking and selling yourself, or people are going to sell you short always. You're going to sell yourself short. And at the end of the day, you can just stay stuck where you're at. So it's really your decision on what you want to do there. And so this skill is arguably the most important skill that you can possibly learn going into manhood and increasing your value as a man. I mean, I wasn't always the best at talking,
Yeah.
picked up a sales job and fucking got good at it.
Yeah, we were both little shy guys at
Little shy guys.
Yeah,
Little shy guys.
didn't know how to assert ourselves in the world.
Yeah. People would think we had tiny wieners
Yeah. We did. We used to.
at the time. And then you grow up here, you learn how to talk to people, and you start to do better in life across the board. Your dating life enhances, your bank account enhances, your friendships, everything. All relationships, really. I mean, as soon as I got good at talking to random people, I got good at talking to my friends, to my family. I got better in my relationships, communicating what I wanted, trying to communicate back what the other person wanted. So it's a very, very, very valuable skill to have, whether you're trying to enhance your relationships or your financial life or your manhood in general. And it's arguably the most important skill, I'd say. I mean, what do you think?
Right. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. If you're somebody that's not very outgoing or has maybe a flat personality and you think that's just how I am, you're just socially awkward. You have to learn that it's okay to express yourself. You can act a little bit.
Yeah, you can learn the game before you know the game.
Yeah. Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the shit. That's what.
People always say, like, just like be yourself. But if your social skills are shit,
Yeah.
then you should improve them. You should try new things.
All right. How are you supposed to truly make a difference in the world if you can't even communicate the difference that you want to make or what you want to do in life? You can't sit back and be silent, especially if you're trying to become a 1% man and have a lot of value, right? You've got to show that to people somehow, and you've got to learn how to communicate that. And the other side of that too is most guys can't communicate in general, and therefore that reflects on your romantic life too.
Yeah, if you can't keep a conversation going with a woman,
Yeah.
how you gonna get any dates?
Right. I mean, you're not, is the point.
Yeah.
You're not going to get any fucking dates. If you can't keep a conversation with a woman going, it's like, I mean, sit back until you can do that, because there's other guys out there that have mastered the skill that are ready to pick the ripe fruit, as it were, while you sit on the sidelines. And if you feel bad about that, you definitely should, because it's happening to you. Because it was happening to me at one point.
Yeah, you got to get outside of your comfort zone. That's the bottom line. It's gonna be very uncomfortable
Right.
at first.
Right.
You have to get out of your little shell.
Yeah. Birth yourself.
Yeah.
from your shell.
Assert yourself into the world.
Birth yourself from your shell and assert yourself
And
into the world.
grow your,
Little
Yeah.
wiener
yeah,
into a bigger wiener.
yeah. That's how we did it.
Yeah. And I mean, by the way, I want to make this clear. Speaking confidently doesn't mean that you're being rude. A lot of people mistake speaking with emphasis and with a purpose as being rude. And that's not the case at all.
Yeah, you can be assertive without being angry.
Right. You can be assertive without being a cock about it.
Yeah.
Look, T and I are best friends, you know, and we're business partners too. And there's times when I believe in something that I'm saying and I'll say it assertively. And you know that. You know, I'll say some shit assertively. I'll look you in your eyes, I'll say it, and I'll be like, I think this is what we should do, whether it be this, that, the third, whatever it is. But I'll say it assertively and I'll say it with a purpose. Why? Because I believe it.
Yeah, and then sometimes they'll be like, you're a fucking idiot.
Right.
This is what I think.
Exactly. And it's all about being authentic and genuinely just coming across as who you are and what you're actually thinking. Don't hide. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, communication isn't a one-way street. It's a two-way street. So if somebody's trying to communicate with you, you need to do the other half of that and communicate back. You know? And part of that is being honest and real, right? Especially with your boys. It's a lot different, okay? We're not saying that, like, if a chick says something and, you know, you're trying to get some wound tying or some shit like that, like, you should just fucking start calling her an idiot and a retard. That's not the case. You definitely shouldn't do that. Don't do that. Because you will lose that bitch real quick.
Well, works for me.
Well, you know, you wouldn't recommend that first try, though.
Well,
Do a lot of these guys.
It's kind of
Here's the thing.
advanced move.
Yeah, exactly. It's an advanced move. You have to be in the advanced realm of things. We're talking to guys who aren't confident yet.
Yeah.
You guys haven't birthed your shell yet, so to speak, if you're still watching. Okay. So try that later on. Call her mentally ill later on.
Yeah.
And that might vary.
They're gonna try it off the bat like, you're a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
And she's gonna be like, the fuck did you just say to me?
Right. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you do happen to say it in the future, you know, say it with a little bit of comedy. Maybe even some dry humor.
It's got to be calibrated.
Dry humor is funny when you say, yeah, the timing, it has to be impeccable.
Yeah.
If the timing's not there, you're kind of fucked.
The vibe has to be right.
Right.
It's the bottom line.
Yeah, you don't want to say that shit off kilter.
Yeah, the other thing is words build kingdoms. Your inability to articulate keeps you stuck in the peasant class.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to talk to people, you're going to be poor.
Right. That goes back to selling yourself. You can't sell yourself on getting anything if you can't fucking talk at all. Like, how are you supposed to get a promotion with your boss if you can't even articulate the fact that you're worth it? That makes no sense. Like, if I were leading a team and then one of the team members came to me and said, hey, I deserve this promotion, and had nothing to say behind it, or they were quiet about it or not confident, I'd be like, the fuck you do? No, you don't. Because you don't believe it. So I definitely don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. If you can just come across confident, if you can just master the art of being confident, a lot of times you can get by with words. Even if you fumble, even if you fuck up, even if you make a mistake, you can keep pushing along, and whatever you're talking about, people won't even bat an eye.
Yeah. Just keep talking. Keep bulldozing,
Keep
as
bulldozing.
they
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Bulldozing until you get
Yeah.
the other person talking. You have to learn that skill. That's probably the most important thing.
All right.
When you're meeting new people, you have to learn how to keep talking until they start engaging with you.
Yeah. And better yet, get them to talk about themselves. That's a big piece. Guys, if you remember one thing, if you take one thing from this episode, let it be this. The more you let somebody talk about themselves, the more they're going to value that interaction with you. Okay? So I have an interaction with you. I let you talk about yourself the entire interaction, say at 20 minutes. That's a pretty long conversation. Like just cold approach type thing. But remembering that, right? It's going to be like, you're not even going to think about the fact that you talked about yourself the whole time. All those dopamine receptors and everything going off in your brain, you having your little jerk off session in your brain about whatever you're talking about, you're going to remember that subconsciously. And later on, you're going to be like, damn, I really fuck with that guy, Chris. I don't even know why. But it's because I let you fucking talk about yourself the whole time. You know what I'm saying? But if you understand that, then you can let people talk about themselves. And when you get good at it, it's like you might not even give a fuck necessarily. But at the end of the day, like in the beginning, you might not give a fuck. But at the end of the day, eventually you start to kind of care a little bit. And that's when it really gets good. Because then you start to become more authentic and people can sense that. You can fake it at first and probably sell a couple of people. But when you get authentic, it's a totally different game.
Yeah, that's
you can
probably
see the care in your eyes.
the best advice is just try to give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
It's hard sometimes.
Because, I mean, when you're nervous,
Yeah.
talking to people, you're always in your own head. You're always thinking about what other people think of you. What do I look like? How are they going to perceive me? But if you think about the other person, it becomes much easier.
Right. Yeah.
To get out of your head.
Yeah. And that kind of goes on to not speaking like a victim too. And you got to speak with confidence. Stop speaking like as though you're sorry for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody likes a sob story. And that's basically the vibe that you're giving off whenever you're not confident. Right? If you come off all shy and fucking weird, it's like, oh, this guy doesn't believe in himself at all. Why doesn't this guy believe in himself? Clearly he feels bad about something that he's doing. Maybe he's wanking away.
Yeah, just wanking his little
fucking room.
Wanking his feelings away and
wanking his little pee-pee, not working out.
Yeah.
And then he feels bad about it the next day whenever he's talking to somebody, so he can't exude any kind of confidence whatsoever. Can't articulate a goddamn word. Not to nobody. And it's like, dude, you feel bad. That's what it is. You feel bad about the shit that you're doing, that you're not improving yourself. It's other shit in your life. So that kind of goes into self-improvement. That's a different topic, but you kind of have to prioritize self-improvement and becoming the better version of yourself if you really want to get good at talking to people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the internal game piece.
Right.
There's external game pieces, just like how you consciously present yourself. Like there's things you can work on, like better posture, projecting your voice, etc. But at the end of the day, you have to believe in yourself. Otherwise, it's going to come through.
That's a fact.
People can tell.
Right.
People can smell it.
You smell it all over you.
Yeah.
And it reeks.
Yeah. No techniques you try, nothing's going to work until you fix the internal piece.
Right.
You have to prove to yourself that you can do what you say you're going to do and start to build that internal confidence. You can't trick your internal mechanisms.
Yeah. And you can lie to people and you can lie good, because there's a lot of people out there that aren't confident in themselves deep down and they still lie to people and get away with it, So you might be really good at covering up and hiding some shit that you feel bad about internally, but at the end of the day, it's always going to shine through to at least one person. And I don't know about you, but I enjoy 100% close rate. And 100% close rate to me, whenever I'm talking to somebody, is knowing that I went into that conversation caring about what they were saying, listening to them, letting them talk about themselves, because everybody needs to talk about themselves sometimes, you know? Becoming the offering for that person so that they can talk about themselves, so that they walk away from that conversation thinking, damn, that was valuable to me. And maybe they feel a little bit better. That's 100% close rate. When you can do that, you can convince anybody of anything. If you can just care about what they're speaking about, take it in, absorb it, show them that you care, and then communicate your thoughts back. Whether it be you're selling fucking windows or you're talking to your girlfriend and trying to make her feel better about some bad shit that you did. Doesn't matter. It applies across the board.
Yeah, if I had to sum it up into two things, it would be step one, empathy. Like tap into the other person, like how they're feeling, really try to get a good read on them.
100%.
And the second thing,
And level down with them with that.
yeah,
Get a read on
match
other-
their energy,
yeah, match-
mirror their, their body language. And then the second thing would be just pure self-amusement,
Right.
which is the being authentic to yourself,
Yeah.
but also calibrated to who you're talking to.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of times whenever you come down to somebody's level, you'll notice that in the natural conversation, you start to kind of like bring them up. If one person's at a higher frequency and they match the other person at a lower frequency, you'll see that like a lot of times you get dragged up, you know, if that person really cares and if they're authentic and passionate.
Yeah.
So it's pretty impressive what you can do if you have that kind of skill.
Sometimes they get stuck, like they're addicted to being, in a state of anger or whatever, and they just won't, move up.
Right.
And, you just have to be positive. Don't take it personally
Yeah.
that they're not wanting to move up
Right. It's not
to
you.
a more positive
Yeah.
mind frame.
Yeah.
You can't take it personally.
Nah. All you can do is go in there, become the best offering for them. Try your absolute hardest, and then if they don't accept it, that be their thing, then that's fine. But either way, you still have to speak with authority, guys. If you're not speaking with authority and you're mumbling, everybody's going to ignore you, including
have
situations.
a sharp tongue.
Yeah, truth. Truth. You got to have a sharp tongue and you have to speak with authority, because if people don't respect you in the way that you talk, they're definitely not going to listen to you on any level whatsoever. Like if you're saying dumb shit and you're like all this shit, all these filler words, which I still do sometimes, but I'm aware of it and I'm trying to get better. That's also a skill that you need to accept into your life, is you have to speak sharp and be articulate with the things that you're trying to communicate.
At the end of the day, a sharp tongue can slice through any obstacle.
Yeah.
That's really your weapon to get what you want in life.
Yeah, that's a fact. And know this as kind of a little closing piece. A man or woman that can charm a room has the most options in life. Period. Okay? It's not a physical weapon. Well, I guess, metaphorically. It's not a physical weapon. It's not your hands. So we preach fighting, and that's a great skill to have. But at the end of the day, the most important weapon here is your tongue and the way you use your words to get what you want out of life. And so if you can control a room, you can control what you get in life, and you'll definitely have the most options out of all these other fucking dudes out here. So master that.
The other closing point would be that fighting does improve your internal confidence.
Oh my
and
God.
It does help your communication.
Oh my God. More than
Because
anything.
primally, your body won't let you project your voice
Right.
if you know that you're weak and you can't defend yourself. It'll shut down.
Yeah, that's true.
And it does help with that internal game piece, as well as doing what you say that you're going to do. Making a plan, sticking to it, and progressing in life.
Building that credit within yourself. Knowing that when you say you're going to do something, you always do it.
Confidence ultimately is putting your focus on something and having confidence that you know you can get yourself to that outcome.
Right. Yeah. So if you can't master how you talk in this world and how you sell people on your ideas, then you might as well
Start flipping
fucking dude.
burgers. I mean, what's some other
And just keep your
for these guys that don't want to improve their communication? What are some good alternatives? That they,
Sure. If you don't want to, if you don't want to improve your communication, yeah, McDonald's, the burger hiring, always open, always hiring over there. They love guys like you. Shit.
like fans,
Yeah.
they're hiring.
Yep.
Okay.
Start sucking dick online.
Yeah,
That would be fun.
a lot of people like that.
A lot of people with bad communication skills love.
Yeah, I mean that's a good option.
Yeah. I mean,
If you're into that.
yeah, and or you could start, selling lemonade on the side of the street. Like I did when I was fucking 6 years old.
You could collect quarters out of Aldi shopping carts.
Yeah. Dude, that's a good one.
Yeah. Sometimes people forget the quarters.
All the fucking time. All the
You
time.
just
Yank it. Yeah, rip that shit.
25 cents, 25 cents, 25 cents.
Right.
Next thing you know, you got $5.
Right. And you can just leave the rest to us. That's the best part is, at the end of the day, you don't have to worry about everything else. All the money and, the cool shit, the yachts, the cars. You don't want that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, you could just play it safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your best bet. That's your best bet. If you do not take anything from this conversation or this podcast, you just play it safe, and we'll handle the rest. But until next time, gather those quarters and keep kicking it, not communicating to people.
Yeah. Go do it.
This has been the Raw Dogs Podcast. We love ya. Have a great night.
We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.